Mum life is crazy busy right now. And I know every stage of parenting is full on, but there's a certain level of busyness that only an Amsterdam parent with an 11-year-old child will understand. And yes, that is niche. That is niche. But kids in Amsterdam, Bella, we're not going out for walks. Just been. We've just come back. Amsterdam kids have to put down their top 12 secondary schools when they transfer from primary to secondary. Top 12. And they're all having open days right now. So we have to visit at least 12 schools open days. Each visit alone takes 2 to 3 hours. Never mind getting there, getting between the visits, getting home, getting fed, doing the sports, sorting out my other child and my 2 pets. It's an extra part-time job on top of the full-time job of parenting, on top of the full-time job of actually working. So it's a lot. So how about you keep me company and a cup of coffee, because I need it. And we are going to chat what's going on in the world of sport, of course. Our little friends walking past. Shh. Specifically, we're chatting Winter Olympics. There have been a few stories doing the rounds already that are simply too big to ignore. Pun intended. You'll see what I mean. Do you remember the French pole vaulter from the 2024 Paris Games? You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Anthony Amarati. But let's just say the Winter Games have had their own crotch scandal already. So we've had 2 coaches and an equipment manager from the Norwegian ski jumping team suspended ahead of the Games because of a scandal that hit at the World Championships last year. Now, as opposed to the French pole vaulter where anatomy got in the way of competition, in ski jumping, the size of the crotch area actually improves performance. I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing. This isn't funny. This is like rules and regulation stuff that matters. Before this sounds like it's getting too gratuitous, it's really not, okay? If you think about a ski jumping suit, the more fabric there is, the better the lift underneath, the more the ski jumper can travel. Because there are strict regulations around how big the suit can be around the body, these things are measured very carefully. And honestly, it's like something I'd hear from a bad Tinder date. So what happened was that all the ski suits are checked and then the athletes compete. But the Norwegian team were found to be tampering with the suit after the check. And what 2 of the Norwegian coaches and their equipment manager were caught doing was inserting something into the suit to make the crotch area bigger, because obviously it improves performance. And the thing is, they were caught on video. They were actually seen tampering with the suit on camera after the suit had been checked. What they were doing was adding extra stitching into the crotch area to make it bigger. A larger suit means you can fly through the air better. It's like having a bigger sail on your sailboat, you know? It catches the air better. It allows you to have more lift, go further. Apparently, just 1 extra centimetre can add 5 metres onto the length of a jump. That's huge. The Norwegians apparently also made their suits stiffer, which can lead to less drag in the air. And according to one German tabloid, this kind of manipulation isn't all that uncommon. There are reports of athletes using hyaluronic acid-filled sleeves to enhance the crotch area. I'm not sure I want to think about that too much. So apparently what the Norwegian coaches had done was they opened up the 5 layers of material to then add something extra into the suit, which was a different kind of material, a stiffer material, then sewn back around it again so you couldn't see it from the outside. So the members of the Norwegian team who were found guilty have been suspended for 18 months, so they won't be involved in the Winter Olympics, but the federation have also tightened their protocol around suit checking. So now they will have 2 controllers and there will be a doctor using 3D measurements to make sure everything is the size it should be. Pity the poor athletes who had nothing to do with this. The 2 athletes whose suits were tampered with, by the way, Marius Lindvik is an Olympic champion, and his 2-time Olympic medalist teammate, Johan Andre Forfang, they both said they didn't know that this was happening. They were given just a 3-month suspension and are allowed to compete for the rest of the season. But Norway is a proud ski jumping nation. The sport originated in Norway. This has been a huge scandal there. Brought an awful lot of shame. So a lot of focus will be on the Norwegian team in the ski jumping competition. They will be hoping to change the story and remind everyone of the positives to come out of Norwegian ski jumping. But in this sport in particular, all eyes will be on crotch sizes. I mean, just saying. One more story that has caught my eye is in skeleton. The hard as nails, nerves of steel skidding down in a tea tray event. Now, there's been a scandal here because an American athlete is claiming foul play of the Canadian team. What's been going on? Let me fill you in. Katie Ulander has taken part in 5 Winter Olympics already. Katie would have made history by just qualifying for Milano Cortina, except she hasn't qualified and she's blaming the Canadians. At the last qualification event, her Canadian competitors withdrew athletes at the last minute. Why does that matter? You would think she has less competition, so more likely to go through. Well, your qualification points in skeleton depend on the number of athletes in the event. So even though she won the race, she got fewer qualification points because there were fewer competitors. The Canadians are being accused by Katie of doing this deliberately to benefit one of their sliders. Katie hasn't qualified. Bobsleigh Canada Skeleton have said that they've done nothing wrong. They were looking after the welfare of their athletes. They decided it wasn't good for them to compete. Skeleton's governing body have also said Canadians did nothing wrong, but other countries are rallying behind her call to have this investigated more fully. Now, Katie is no stranger to difficulty. Of course she's not. She's been to 5 Olympic Games. She's had hip surgery. She's been limping through the season, trying to make it at least as far as the Games. And even now, she's still training in the hope that this decision will be overturned. Those backing her are saying that she is the epitome of the Olympic spirit. Allowing her to compete in Milano Cortina will send a message to any federations thinking of manipulating the rules in their favour that fair play will win out. However, as it stands, the international governing body are saying things are perfectly fair as they are and she won't get to compete. Given that there were 12 countries who were backing Katie's objection here, expect a little bit of beef, not just between the American team and the Canadians when it comes to skeleton, but maybe a little bit of unrest amongst the whole field of competition. There's plenty more, of course, happening in the build-up to the Winter Olympics. These are just a few stories to remind you that it's never just about the athlete turning up at the start line. There's always so much more that's happened behind the scenes to even get them this far. There is beef left, right and centre, rivalries, personal stories of overcoming adversity, which is why we love the Olympic Games. I'll keep an eye out for anything else that's happening. Keep you posted. If I can find the time between school visits, that is.